So this was the second time that I got to march in the Pride Parade. The opportunity again to be on the inside of the parade this time. It was me, my wife, my daughter, 2-year-old, and my brother. Let's just get to the most important part first, the gear check. I was shooting a Canon F1 new, or new F1, new F1, F1 new, whichever way I say it, I'm probably wrong. But it's the one that has the battery cover on the front. So I'm going to call that from now on. It's the Canon F1. What I had was I had Superia 400, and then I shot Fujicolor 200. It says made in the USA. It's Kodak. The new Fuji 400 is Ultra Max. And then threw in some Portra, because you gotta have Portra. You can't make videos about film photography if you're not shooting Portra for some reason. And for video, I was shooting the Panasonic S1, one of the greatest hybrid cameras ever made, and still just an absolute beast. So this combo is kind of heavy. I can only do so much because I was actually helping with my 2-year-old. If you never shot the Canon F1, and if you manage to get one or want one, it's big, it's heavy, it's made of brass, it feels like a Leica. That advanced lever is awesome. It just, everything in it feels amazing. It's got an absolute bazooka of a shutter. You press that shutter, it's like chunk. So the Pride Parade is just a great experience. Like I said, I've been going to watch the parade for a long time. Being in it is very different. There were plenty of photographers on the route. I didn't see any other people shooting film. At least, you know, my view or my exposure to people documenting the parade was pretty limited. Just the perspective that you have is one that's incredibly rare, because how often do you get to do this? There's so much life, joy, and celebration. We're at the staging area, and like the volunteers and stuff show up. People are awesome. I think they're volunteers. I'm pretty sure they're volunteers, and you know they are awesome for helping to put this event on. You know, it's a massive undertaking. And if they're not volunteers, you know, whatever, go get your money.
LGBTQ plus officials in the administration. Previously, let's hear it. We gotta get.
This one of my wife and my daughter, I kind of just crouched down a little bit and got this angle. And I love how the shadow becomes a leading line, but it also kind of cuts the frame into thirds along with the crosswalk. And then you've got the arrows also. So there's just a ton of just leading lines along with the top of the roofs, the roof line just leading down into the horizon. And, you know, I got the exposure right. So this one has got like tons of lines and a whole lot of geometry, and you got the crowd, and then there's like this swirliness to all the bubbles, because we bought a little bubble gun or a bubble machine along with us, because the baby loves bubbles. All babies love bubbles, and turns out all people love bubbles. I'm pretty sure someone's getting their nose cleaned. There's a lot of just like angular lines straight up and down, and then like lines across the road, and then you have like flags and like the banners and stuff, just cutting everything. So the play that you get with the architecture and the geometric aspect to just every single frame, and then just like really intense color, because Superia is a highly saturated film with a lot of magenta in it also, and these scans are straight up standard lab scans, just the cheapest stuff. I'm sure the lab just does everything on auto. The cops are like supposed to be keeping this guy from running into the middle of the parade with like, you know, whatever's in his bag. But that dude wasn't having it. He was like, I'm getting across this thing. I don't care. You know, and they're like, oh, what are you gonna do? Yeah, well, whatever. Yeah, this one's pretty good. How are you gonna see that scene and not start snapping photos? You know, you can see the exposure. I think I nailed right on. It's hard to mess up exposure with color film, especially. I mean, Superia is great. Kodak Gold, Fuji 200 has a really good exposure latitude, almost as good as Portra. You know, at least in my experience. Why not get even closer and take that picture again? And we got some supervisors supervising, and then someone getting a talking to about the lack of bubbles, because we ran out of bubbles. And you're not supposed to run out of bubbles when you have a toddler. Anyway, this has got to be my favorite photo of the day. And I mean, this lady's just like, you know, she's having the time of her life. She's like way cooler than any of her surroundings. Like, she's so obviously the focus of this frame. She's so obviously the subject, right? There's so much color, there's so much crowd, there's so many buildings and just so much going on. And she's just like bam in the middle of it, and she just tops that. And I was like so happy that not only did I get the because I turned around and I saw her just like, you know, she's like just blowing a whistle, screaming, and just having a great time. And I snapped a few pictures of her, but this one is the best one because I caught her like mid stride. I mean, like that was it. That was the day. I wish I was a little bit closer. I wish I could have that good of a time, like at any point in my life. And I mean, this one you gotta snap, right? Just like waving the pride flag, walking down, and just cheering on, and with enough separation from the background and isolation, just like based on the physical location of the subject, all just kind of leads into that bottom thirds of the frame. Two decent photos, I think, maybe three or four, and then, you know, what else are you gonna do but snap pictures of the crowd? You have to. The crowd's like the best part. Without the crowd, it would just be like a bunch of people closing down Fifth Avenue to march down and just scream into the air. Oh, and I found the happiest person in New York. This guy, you know, who's happier than a Fuji shooter at a public event? This dude was just like smiles ear to ear. I'm not making fun of him at all. It's just because he's shooting a Fuji. I think it was an XC3. But anyway, this is for all you Fuji shooters out there. I also happen to have a Fuji. At least Fuji still puts film emulations in their digital cameras, because they sure as hell aren't making much actual film anymore. And at the end of the day, the baby's like, my feet are tired. She takes off her shoes, and then you get to hold her feet for the ride home. Pretty great day. So that's about it. That was a great day. I know I make good things sound bland and fun things sound boring, but I had a great time. And I just like going out with my baby and with my cameras. And I like shooting film, and I like shooting digital, and I like shooting rangefinders, and I like shooting video, trying to create awesome visual just to have a record of stuff, you know? I've got more film videos coming up. A lot more film videos coming up. I've got a few road trip videos coming up. I just don't have the time to edit, and I run into technical problems left and right. I don't know how, like, people that are putting out 1 or 2 videos a week do it. Just, holy shit, you guys are insane. Anyway, that's it. And more videos coming up. Like, subscribe, and all that, I guess. Whatever.